Bum, 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 bum. Hey everybody, how we doing today? Having a great time as always, I hope. Yes, having a good old time. Enjoying yourself? Yeah, yeah. Okay, good. Um, Beautiful, beautiful for spacious skies. Ramparts we Galway. Okay. Um, let's up this to 200 so everybody can see that nice and well, right? Right? Yeah, everybody can see that real well now. And it's time to start writing. It's time to start working. It's time to go. Hey, Big. Hey, Big is a huge part of the podcast and the story. Hey, Big, sorry about your pig. Sound like it was affecting me. Mexican grandpa grunted in his primitive language, waving his arms around from behind his door. Leprechaun translated. He feels your pain. They said he had too much masturbation jelly, so they took half of his supply along with half his papers and envelopes. I responded, why would masturbation jelly? This was a solid question. Sup, Mile? What's going on? Why would they take half of something we're given? This was a huge deal in jail, right? Half of what you're given. You're given an item, and then because of the way that you use it, it suddenly turns into contraband. And there's no reason for it. There's no rhyme or reason on why they actually do what they do. It's just one of those things that they do because they can, because they are the COs, the correctional officers. Let's see here. What I'm looking for right now is a good place to put the how to build your own spigot, which was a big deal, getting the water pressure just right for the spigots. So testing the shower heads here is what they're talking about. And so showerhead creation when you're incarcerated is really interesting. So the water level is so low that it's difficult to the water level is so low that it's difficult to get clean or to feel clean, and hot water is not nearly what it should be. So you create water spigots, and there are a couple ways to do it, but my favorite method of creating a water spigot was to put holes into a shampoo bottle and stuff the shampoo bottle up over the shower head, and the water would then run through the shampoo bottle, and so you would have a heavier stream, more concentrated stream, and the water would feel warmer as a consequence. So this is the other thing right here, talking about the shower heads not fitting under the door. So anytime you want to get contraband to somebody, what you had to do was you had to get it into the bathroom and then sneak out, wait for other people to come around and see you. Put them in the shower, and then wait for the next group to take the shower head or the whatever contraband you had, and try and sneak the contraband over to the other end. See, that's it right there. The COs would never check the showers. Do do do. The design of the shower heads. Okay. Leprechaun's design. Let's take both of these out completely. Yeah, showering is a huge deal when you're in jail, guys. It is one of the only times that you can be alone, one of the only times that you're with your own thoughts, and one of the only times that you actually feel clean. You can actually feel water, you can feel things in general. It's just a good feeling. Mm-hmm. do do do. Hey, Cookins! How's it going? It's going well here. Just working right and having fun. Writing about jail time right now. How do you spell leprechaun? This is the joke right here. Let's change Spanish to Latino. Well, Cookins, if you must know, that for one thing, this isn't prison life, this is jail. And for another, yes, I know a lot of people who've been to jail. In fact, I've actually been to jail myself. And yeah, you meet them and you talk to them, and it's really interesting and fun. I've had a few of them on the podcast too. If you guys haven't checked out my podcasting, I encourage you to do so. Um, do do do. I love this right here. Thinking that a Mexican is a Philip is a thinking that a Filipino is Mexican. Filipino. Filipino. Oh my God. What pepper? What peppers are very Spanish? He walked away shaking his head. The important thing is, I think I'm funny. In close custody, you entertain yourself. Yeah, if you ever want to interview anyone interesting or about an interesting topic, the number one way to do that is definitely uh, go on Craigslist. It sounds silly, but Craigslist is really the way to do this. Go on Craigslist, say, hey, I need somebody who has this kind of life experience, and you'd be amazed at the messages you get from people of all kinds of walks of life. All kinds of different walks of life. Do do do. And that's the end. Okay, so we are going to put... okay, so we have more things to explain without story time. Because that was a good long chapter. But we have more things to explain how to do. That just don't fit into the chapter. So we're going to go... I can't type today. Okay, now we have... Da, da, da. Okay, we're going to start with... well, Nope, that's not what we need. We need... Hang on just a second, guys. Okay, there we go. Cut docs. Copy and paste. Okay. So we're gonna go up to where? There we go. Sink spigots. Okay. So let's make it sound kind of nice. Let's make it making a sink spigot. And we'll label it. Number 1, making a sink spigot. Making a sink spigot. Now, this is a big deal for guys who are incarcerated because the sinks are terrible and you don't get enough pressure to actually clean things or do things that you want to do. So, now sawing, whenever they have to saw anything, right here we're talking about sawing things, right? Whenever they saw anything, what they're doing is they're taking the string and they're running the string real quick along the object. And the string actually saws through the object itself. Okay, now B, toothbrush holder. And we'll just do all these making A. We'll just make them all uniform. Because laying your toothbrush on the rim, it is very gross. You definitely need a toothbrush holder. Take an empty deodorant container, put it upside down, and put your toothbrush handle on the little egg-shaped hole. The container is the perfect size for your little mini toothbrush. Okay. C. Dividers. Organizational dividers. So this is one of the things that came into play a lot. So when you're in jail, you have a lot of stuff and you need to keep your desk organized. And you don't just have places to put everything. So what you need to do is you need to get plastic trays and dividers. And you need to put the different plastic trays and dividers out on the desk and organize everything. So the cookie trays were excellent dividers to hold things. Note. Okay, here we go. C1. Alternative dividers. And again, make it all nice and uniform. Some people also took the logo stickers off their stuff and used them to tape old playing cards into bigger and taller dividers. Here we go. Here's one worth doing. A cup. Making your own jail cup. Making a jail cup. Make sure you tape the rim of the bags back next, followed by the bottom of the bags, soothing as you go to ensure a nice flat surface. You should now have a nice larger cup to drink from that you won't need to refill every 5 damn swallows. Yeah, the little cups that they give you are so small. Making dice. Making dice is a big deal. So that way you can play games. You can play dice games. And it's so boring in there. You absolutely need the opportunity to play dice games. Otherwise you're going to get crazy. You're going to drive yourself crazy. We had dominoes, but no dice. There are 2 ways for making dice while in max, and one of them is pretty simple. E1 alternative dice. Now these alternative dice, a lot harder to make, a lot messier, but boy did they look pretty. pencil, carve the soap away from the edges until you're left with a good sized square. Four, five, six is a big dice game when you're in. C, D, E, F. Earplugs. If you guys don't want to be driven insane when you're locked up, earplugs is the way to go. Because let me tell you, it just drowns on and on. People never stop talking. They never do. It's always loud in there. Cookins, I'm so glad you'll remember these. The other option is to simply squish an eraser into your ears. That doesn't even really deserve one, but I'll do it anyway. Chip bags are the lifeblood of saving, storing, and trading food. So this is a big one, and yeah, having chip bags around and washing them out was very important because you did not want a moldy chip bag, just like it says right here. And if you did give somebody a chip bag and you didn't realize there was mold in it, you were going to get your ass beat pretty quick. Let's see, graphite pencils. I know it's more in your face with the capitalization, but we're still gonna decapitalize those. Graphite pencils are terrible, but the normal ones work great to jam into your cell doors to keep them from clanging. Okay, so this is going to be door pencil door cushion. Toothpaste, air freshener. And these are the kinds of things that you learn that you would never ever think of, right? Like toothpaste is an air freshener, but it works really well. You put the toothpaste around the edges of the vent, and boom, you're good to go. Deodorant. Oh my gosh, give me a second. Deodorant, temperature control. And again, I am having a hard time typing. Deodorant temperature control. You can use that same vent to regulate the temperature of your cell. So if they ever came in and sprayed pepper spray, if anybody ever comes in spraying pepper spray, you would do the exact same thing as the temperature control. You would take the deodorant, you would spread it across the vent, and it would fill in the holes. And as the holes are filled in, all of a sudden, you're good to go. Your place gets quieter, which is nice. But then you also have the pepper spray can't get through the deodorant, which is what we would use it for. Yeah, that is one of the biggest things, though, is right here. The free jail deodorant will make yourself smell like pencil shavings, which is a great idea. Yes, Cookins, for sure. All praise spell corrections. um, okay, this one is. Okay, 5. We're going to call this simple pencil cushion. Cushion it against your fingers. Salt and pepper shakers. This one got me a lot of attention because not a lot of people thought about salt and pencil or salt and pepper shakers. Clean out a shampoo bottle and puncture a few holes in the lid. Fill, shake, and enjoy. Liquid soap. Jalapeno chips, that bags that you really don't want flavoring left behind. Personal laundry. Hang on. Is that... For easy do-it-yourself laundry. Easy do-it-yourself laundry. Hey, book to my heart. Welcome, welcome. Okay. So, chapter 4, Be Your Own Chef. I'm feeling pretty good about this chapter 3, guys. Feeling pretty good about it. Hey, Cookins? For those of you on TikTok who don't know, Cookins is live and interacting on YouTube. Alright, let's go up to the beginning of chapter 3 and just do one more edit real quick before we actually send it off to the editor. Make an pen extender. Okay, chapter 3, Arts and Crafts. So, and I am going to be reading a bit of this out loud, just because I always edit better that way. Do 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 do. My next silly was okay, but a tad boring and emotional. He liked to talk about his insecurities and fear of the future. Totally natural, considering the circumstances. I listened to him thoughtfully, then proceeded. Give him long, constructive, and thoughtful feedback. Actually, I just made fun of the guy. He was a pussy. It didn't take long for me to convince him to expect a constant raping. Where are we going? We are gonna go jailhouse crafting, cut and edit doc. Cut and edit doc. I think we're done with the cut and edit doc, everybody. Use the same vent. Yeah, I'm gonna say that this is good. We can kill this document. Which is always a big deal when we can be like, alright, we're done. This one is done. Done. Okay, so next up we have the... Oh, did I close the only one? I did, didn't I? Alright, hang on. Let's turn that up a little bit since my laptop's getting hot. Hot. Okay, let's take... Mirror Madness. Chapter 3. Crafting jail items. Okay. Yep, I think we hit everything. Okay. Actually, just made fun of the guy. He was a pussy. It didn't take long for me to convince him to expect constant raping in prison. Now, I don't feel good about that, but it is funny. As he was rolling up his stuff to head off to his first time being raped, he said half-hearted goodbyes. He lifted up his mattress, and a comb with all the bristles torn off fell on the floor. Around the comb was a towel twisted tight. "What's that?" I asked. He looked at the ground embarrassed. Well, that's my shank." "Well, that's my shank." That was not the answer I'd expected from this guy. "Why do you have a shank?" "To be honest, Big, you kind of scared me when I first got here." I just stared in disbelief until he went on. "Well, you're a big guy and kind of intense, especially when doing your push-ups. If you tried to get at my asshole, I wouldn't stand a chance without a shank." And with that, the COs opened the door and my cellie was off to prison, leaving me staring at the shank on the floor. And with that, so many thoughts were popping into my head. I'd never be desperate enough to even touch a man, let alone rape one. How could he think that? And I'm a way more handsome man than him. If anyone had to worry about unwanted sexual advances, it was me. Scary? I'm not scary. Maybe a little excited during workouts, but I don't give off a violent, stone-cold rapist vibe. I decided my cellie was simply a bad judge of character, and put the thought out of my head. Out of my mind. As I picked up the comb shank, I realized just how effective it'd be. Savannah! And with that was redundant. Where are you talking about? And with that, the CO opened the door and my cellie was off to prison, leaving me staring at the shank on the floor. Is that the "and with that" that you were talking about? You know what? I'm gonna leave it for now, just for fun, and maybe my editor will take it out later. But I'm gonna leave it for now. Alright, let's get back to it. As I picked up the comb shank, I realized just how effective it'd be. The hard plastic spike could do a decent amount of damage under the floating rib or to the side of the neck. The towel made a great grip, too. The simplicity of its design was inspiring. I'd been thinking of ways to attach a razor blade from one of the disposable razors. The problem was actually getting a hold of one without a CO sending you to the hole. We only received razors twice a week, and the guards always checked with the razor that the razors were still attached. The toothbrushes were too small to create a good shank. A pencil was an obvious choice. They only gave us half. It sounded like I sentenced twice with it. You know what? I probably did, Savannah. Thank you for as I'm editing, I do a lot of reading out loud, and so sometimes I do. Sometimes when I'm reading out loud, I do restart a sentence. You do, you do. Yep. You do, you. You do, you, boo. Check the razors were still attached. The toothbrushes were too small to create a good shank. The pencil was an obvious choice. They only gave us half pencils, but there were a few pencil extenders people made to make writing more comfortable. Making a pencil extender. Now this was a big one, guys. Everyone needed to draw or write or do something in jail, and so pencil extenders were a huge thing. And creating a good pencil extender was a must. Must. The pencils we received in Max were all small golf size. They want to make sure you'll have a hard time stabbing someone. So, if you're like me and going to be doing any amount of writing in the joint, a pencil extender is a must. Wrap an envelope around 3 of the pencils until it's nice and tight. Then close it with the logo stickers all around. You can then slide the lead pencil in and out to be replaced as needed. So logo stickers are one of those things that some people are like, you had logo stickers? Like, yeah. Every single box of shampoo, every single thing of deodorant, everything has a front sticker and back sticker on it. Logo sticker and the ingredients on the back. Excuse me. You can fill the middle of the back of the pencil extender with toothpaste and let it harden. Toothpaste was a really good thing to have. If you let toothpaste harden, guys, it's like concrete. It really is. If you let it harden and get to where it needs to be. You can then slide the lead pencil in and out, place it. Toothpaste and let it harden. You can also mix toothpaste with toilet paper. Twist the toilet paper up nice and tight and let it harden in the pencil extender. Making a pen extender. Note the pen extender only has a good hold on the insert itself, not the cover. Use the razor blade you get to shave with. Use the razor blade you... Let's change get to use. Use the razor blade you get... Nope. I don't like using twice in the same sentence. Use the razor blade you get to shave with to split a few of your pencils down the middle. Find 3 that leave a good hold on the pencil insert when you put them around the insert. When you put them around the pen. The pen insert. When you put them around the pen. Tape them in place and pack when you put them around the insert. Find 3 that leave a good hold on the pen insert. Placed. Much cleaner sentence. Much better. Tape them in place and pack the back with your toilet paper and toothpaste mixture. Make sure you let the toilet paper harden in a nice hard twist on the top of the pen extender. Now you should be able to slide the pen insert in and out with ease. Warning, using the razor cut things with might be effective and give you a nice clean cut. Nice clean cut, but it can be risky. but it can be risky. You only have 20 or so minutes before they come back around to collect them, and you need to be sure to pop the blade back in the plastic razor. You use the razor blade you're given, says Savannah. No, most people don't actually use the razor blade they're given. You get the razor blade, you use it for the 20 minutes, but you use it for things that aren't actually shaving. You use it for things, like I said, popping open pencils. And then you have to turn them back in within 20 minutes or so. That's how it works in county. Every facility is different in terms of when you get razor blades and when you can use them. But in county, that's how it goes. If you're having a tough time splitting the pencils, look at the grain of the pencil and you'll see where the two pieces of wood were glued together. This was a huge tip for me because I was having a hard time, and I finally went to somebody and I was like, how are you doing this? And this is what they explained. You can actually see, if you look at a pencil, you can see the engravings of, hey, this is where this pencil was glued together. This piece of wood was glued to this piece of wood around the lead. That seam is where you want to try and split it. You can also soak the pencil in water to help it soften up and get the wood. You can also soak the pencil in water to help it soften up to soften up the wood and thus the target. And expand the target. Much better sentence. Final tip. If you're having trouble splitting the pencil, you can use the sharp metal underside of the cell's table to shave the pencil down to a correct size. But while a great pencil extender, it's a little short for a shank. Let's put this in the middle, and let's change it from these to stars. Stars are so much prettier. Stars are prettier. Now, the pencil shank design I finally landed on just required an envelope. Rip the envelope in half lengthwise, lick the half an envelope, then wrap and seal it tight around a sharp pencil. You now have 9-inch long stabbing weapon. C and aiming tip. Leprechaun came over to the door. Leprechaun was an interesting dude. This guy was literally 5'1", red hair. He was a leprechaun. It was so funny. Across the middle lip of the desk until they broke off. What you doing? I looked up from my work. Making a shank out of my comb. He gave me a laugh. Why? To see how easy it is, and it's something to do. I get it. It's boring in here. That's why I dipped my balls in glitter. I looked up from my work, wondering how he got glitter. His grin was ear to ear as he said, "It was pretty nuts." Now that's a funny joke, guys. Whoa. It may be boring as hell in jail, but we do laugh a lot. So how's it going? Slow. The bristles don't want to come off. Why don't you saw them off? Saw? He gave me a surprised look. You don't know how to saw stuff in jail? You do? Of course. You learn a lot in prison. Leprechaun went on to explain how, in prison, you saw through things by pulling a string back and forth. And where do you get the string? He rolled his eyes like he couldn't believe how stupid I was. From your clothes. He rolled his eyes like he couldn't believe how stupid I was. From your clothes. Use a pencil to get into the seams. Savannah, what type of editing are you doing? So I am doing sentence flow. I'm doing flow of, hey, how is it when I read it out loud? How does it sound? That's what my focus is right now. I'm going to send this off to the editor once it's done, and the editor is way better than me when it comes to, grammatical interest. So right now it's all about the flow of the words. Won't that ruin them? What do you care? You get new uniforms twice a week. He had a really good point. We get new uniforms all the time. We didn't care if we ruined a pair. As I started sawing through things, I was amazed at how easily the string cut. My string went through rubber, wood, plastic with ease. I thought about how the perfect shank could be made by sawing the hard plastic of our orange cups to a sharp point. But then I wouldn't have a cup. However, I didn't need the hard plastic soap container that came with the commissary soap. I decided that'd be my plan if I ever needed to really kill someone. Silver Sage twice a week? Yes. So when you're in jail, you get new uniforms twice a week. I believe it was Mondays and Thursdays. And that's when you turn in your uniforms and your laundry. And it was laundry day. There's a dinosaur jumping. That was cool. So you wouldn't be getting your own uniforms back, I take it. Nope. So you're talking about a giant facility, right? Giant facility full of people. Tons of people. When you've got hundreds and hundreds of inmates with different levels of clothing, you just have your uniform size. And so you turn in your uniforms and you get a uniform out of this giant bin of other uniform sizes. So no, there wasn't any getting your uniform back. Nobody knew whose uniform was whose. They were just all sizes to them. Sizes and colors. You had white, blue, orange, and red. Depending on what category you fit into, you got to wear a specific color uniform. Most everybody was either blue or red, orange. Blue was for people who were in general population. Orange was for the hardened criminals who had to be in close custody. Cut through were rubber sandals. Each sandal had 5 rubber strips running over the top of the foot and attached with more rubber in the middle. Rubber doesn't breathe, and working out made my feet sweat and stinky. Sawing off the 3 strips in the middle gave my feet freedom to breathe. Does that apply to all clothing items? No, that is just your shirt and your pants, which are your uniforms, which are the only things that the facility provides. Everything else is your own. So you could wear your own underwear and your own shirt and socks. The shirt had to be plain white, though. So none of that was considered your uniform, but you were allowed to wear them. The next thing I started to saw were pencils. I was amazed at how clean it cut the wood. You couldn't hardly tell that the 2 halves had once been a whole pencil. That gave me an idea. Now this is the big guys. This is where everything changes. In Maximum, they didn't want us to have access to anything sharp. That meant we didn't have any way to sharpen our pencils, which seemed silly to me. How easy could it be to place one of those old school, let's change that right there, old school spin sharpeners you used to have in middle school on the wall of the tablet room. They were security cameras and track everyone who enters and leaves the room anyway. But I digress. I'm going to take out but I digress. So instead of sharpening our pencils, I'll leave it in. It's kind of fun, right? Kind of a different change of tone. So instead of sharpening our pencils, we turn them into the guard. Into the COs. We'd give them our old pencils, and they'd give us fresh, sharp ones. Sometimes a CO would give you a hard time if he saw lead still on the end of your pencil. So, just to be sure, I broke all my lead against the wall before turning them in. Couldn't complain if there weren't even the smallest bit of lead to... Couldn't complain if there wasn't the smallest bit of lead to see. Only sharp pencils for this guy. So what I decided to do was saw through one of the gold pencils. One of so what I decided to do was saw through one of my old pencils until I had 2 even halves. Most COs didn't really inspect all your pencils, especially when they were coming holding a handful of 10 of them. So I went up, said how many pencils I needed, and handed them all my pencils So I went up, said how many pencils I needed, and handed them all my pencils to get sharpened, including the 2 halves of the golf pencils. Including the two halves I sawed through. And it worked. They didn't look. To them, it was just a golf pencil that was extra short or used up. They barely looked at them. To them, it was just a golf pencil that was... To them, it was just 2 golf pencils that were extra short. Extra short and used up. Now we're talking. Now we've got a sentence that is worth talking about. Pretty soon I was turning in 10 halves pencils every day. I discovered a way to get infinite pencils. In a matter of days, I had over 100 golf pencils. Now, this might not sound like a big deal to you, but to maximum security detainees, that was a gold mine. Everyone needed pencils to write home, and no one liked writing with a dull pencil. Sometimes you couldn't wait for your time to get a fresh pencil. This was especially true for the artists who liked to draw all day. They always needed pencils and were willing to pay for them. Soon I was supplying everyone with their pencil needs, and I was taking everything. In a couple weeks, I had a surplus of every jail item known to man. There wasn't anything I was lacking. Chip bags, plastic trays, playing cards, shampoo. I had a surplus and then some. And once everyone knows you have everything, you're the one they come to make deals. I was the market center, and I loved the art of the deal. Insert commissary list. Yep, I need to do that. After I used the pencil trick and got all the random jail items I wanted, I got bored. It didn't take long to start finding hidden uses for things or just putting stuff together to pass time. Note, pretty much everything in this chapter that I explained how to make is considered contraband. That means the COs throw the stuff away if they find them during their twice-a-month tossing of the cells. I still have yet to hear a decent reason for these creations being taken away. The only response the COs gave is, you are not using the item for its intended purpose. Starting sentence with "and." I know it's not correct. I know you're not supposed to do that. My editor will probably fix it. I'm going to go with it for now. And, rules are meant to be broken. I break the "and" rule all the time. Not all the time, because it is silly, and you shouldn't do it. But sometimes. What sentence are you talking about? Oh, here we go. Surplus and then some. And once everyone knows you have everything. You know what? The "and" right there is not needed. That is superfluous. Once everyone knows you have everything, you're the one they come to make deals. You're the one they come to make deals. Yep. You know what? Silver, thank you very much. That is it's better not having that "and" there. No, pretty much everything in this chapter is considered contraband. This means the COs throw the stuff away, Already read this part. You are not using the item for its intended purpose. What's really annoying is that they all said the exact same thing. You're not using the item for its intended purpose. It's like, yeah, I know I'm not. But you know what? That shouldn't mean that I'm not allowed to have it. It's not hurting anyone. The showers at my facility were terrible. I'm not just talking about the small enclosed space, the short time water stayed on between button presses, or how it took forever to get warm. One of the worst parts of the showers was the lack of water pressure. Therefore, I feel it's my duty to explain how to make something to improve that pressure. A shower head. Making a shower head. Take an empty shampoo bottle and poke a hole in it with a pencil. The hole should be 1.5 inches from the bottom. Make sure you don't push the pencil too hard and accidentally puncture the other side of the bottle. After you have a good hole worked into the bottle, keep adding pencils to it until you have an opening the shower spigot will fit inside. Don't make the hole... I'm going to take that out. That sounds better. Adding pencils to it until you have an opening that the shower spigot will fit inside. Don't make the hole too big. You want a tight hold. For our showers, the right size was 8 pencils wide. Let the pencils sit in the hole for a day to allow the plastic to take hold to its new shape. Shove the hole over the spigot and you have a shower head, taking the sharp pokey water flakes and transforming them into a single concentrated waterfall of liquid pleasure. An added bonus is that the water feels a lot warmer when it's in a single stream. That is true, and that is a big deal. Making an alternative shower head. The second way to make a shower head involves putting our string sawing techniques to use. Take an empty indigent deodorant container and saw the top off. Take your time with the string so you get a clean cut. Now, add a second plastic deodorant base to the top of the lid you just cut. It should be a solid fit, but if you find the connection too loose, you can take off your deodorant logo stickers and reapply them to help hold it fast. If you haven't seen one of these containers before, they have a nice egg-shaped hole in the bottom of the base while the deodorant's removed. This hole is the perfect size to fit around the shower spigot. With the other egg-shaped hole in the other side, you get a concentrated stream of water. Compared to the bottle shower head, you have more of a shower-like stream of water and less like a garden hose. You also have more control, being able to rotate the egg-shaped hole and point it in any direction. That was a big deal, being able to point it where you wanted the water to actually go. Note, if you're taller and don't like standing so close to the shower wall, you can keep cutting and adding deodorant containers until you get a shower head that's at a comfortable length. This was also big for any vertically challenged people, getting the water closer to them. I looked up from my book to find an old Mexican man knocking at my door. This was a normal occurrence, since most were told to see me about items they needed, but this was the first time I'd spoken to the Mexican grandpa. He greeted me with a smile as he spoke. You Bang Bang Cream? Huh? There was clearly a few setbacks to being the guy people came to for stuff. I had to stumble through awkward interactions. At least this guy wasn't an annoying level of retarded. He tried slowing down and using gestures. You, he pointed to me, Bang Bang Cream? He said as he slid his hand up and down in a jerking off motion. Oh! I couldn't help but smile. I went to my desk and grabbed the petroleum jelly. His head went up and down with a jolly look. I'd seen commissary delivered to him, so I asked, coffee? And to my surprise, he slid coffee under my door. Thus began the greatest trade deal ever. I'd slide him some Bang Bang Cream everyone got for free, and he'd slide me heavenly coffee. This was a deal I'd definitely keep secret. I was curious how much an old man could go through, so I was curious how such an old man could go through so much Bang Bang Cream. Maybe some questions are better left unasked. One thing you get plenty of in jail is soap. Anytime you ask a CO for some at the pod door or during lunch, during meals, he gives you 2 little hotel-sized bars. It only came natural to slide the soap bars out under my door. Soon I was getting the angles down to ricochet them off the walls and into the cell along the same wall. Or slide them at an extreme left angle to glide right into 27 house along the other wall. Every so often, a CO might come along and yell for us to stop making a mess if a bunch of soap missed their mark and started to pile up. But with no way for him to know who was sliding the soap, no one ever got in trouble. With Jackson in 27 house, we got really good at sliding soap back and forth. It was our own game of jailhouse catch. The skill of ours came in handy once we discovered what the old school gangsters referred to as fishing. How to fish. Fishing is huge, and if you ever go to jail or prison, it's how you move stuff between cells. Take a pencil to the seam of your pants and get as much orange string as you can because it's time to go fishing. After you have as much fishing line as you like, you have to find something with weight that slides well across the floor and is small enough to fit under cell doors. Some people tape closed little pocket Bibles, but I've found the jail soaps to be most effective. Using a pencil, work a small hole in the center of the soap, tie off your fishing line under the hole, and you're ready to start tossing your line down the hall and into other cells. 1 second, guys. I got to blow my nose. Nothing like a little nose blow and a drink of water to get back on track. Remind myself to edit that out later on the YouTube. Oh, and thank you TikTok as well. Turned out we were really good at fishing. We were passing all kinds of things between cells with our full lines. With our lines. With a little help from someone on the outside of the cell, I even had lines running through the upper metal grates down to the houses below. Hardest part of fishing was having to clean up the lines before the COs came for their hourly walkthrough. Don't ask me why. For some reason, every CO was a dick about fishing. They pulled on our lines until they snapped, yelled at us, and threatened to write us up. Fact is, I got threatened with being written up so many times, I decided the COs must be afraid of actually having to fill out paperwork. What's up, Summit the Dragon? Just doing a nice little writing session. By wrapping the line around the chip bag, we were able to pass pretty much anything from house to house. Now again, when I say house here, what we mean is jail cells. Pass anything from cell to cell. By wrapping the line around the chip bags, we were able to pass pretty much anything from house to house. I was sitting at my desk, writing my thoughts, hopes, and dreams, when a little piece of paper came sliding under my door from Jackson. His cellie and him were playing trivia. Him and his cellie. That's I don't know why I have it backwards like that. Him and his cellie were playing trivia with me, and I kicked their asses. So we switched to Hangman. Ooh, can anybody guess the Hangman? Anybody? So yeah, the Hangman was clearly dead. He wrote, "God damn it, Trevor, is this one of your fake nerd words?" I wrote back, "Nope, I'm just way smarter than the two of you put together. I just proven that by guessing beloved pencils in 6 guesses." They responded, "Give us a hint." I wrote, "Okay, you use it and it's in your cell every day." They guessed G next, so I told them to search their house. I got back, "You damn dirty Jewfro. You sneaky, sneaky little asshole. Fresh scent? Our shampoo? Really?" I went to the door laughing. "Finally figured it out." Jackson yelled back, "That wasn't even clever, Trevor." But I felt clever. We'd go on passing each other notes and playing games for months. I may very well have become the world's best soap slider. Panda came by my door not long after, looking for a trade, a few bags of peanuts for an extra, extra, extra large t-shirt. Looking Asian while being native and standing at only 5'2", it's no wonder everyone called him Panda. I didn't just have a t-shirt to give him, certainly not 3X. Luckily, it had been a while since I'd messaged the chaplain. Now, being in Maximum, you aren't allowed to attend any type of church service, which is funny since these inmates seemed like the ones who needed it the most. But the chaplain was still ready to supply those detained with socks, underwear, and plain white t-shirts, so long as they were indigent. The chaplain is an underutilized resource that I suggest all inmates take full advantage of. Since Panda had his t-shirt and had bags and bags of deliciously salty peanuts. Soon, Panda had his t-shirt and I had bags and bags of deliciously salty peanuts. It wasn't until I went to message the chaplain that I understood why the book boxes were always full of King James Bibles. It's because people want to read the Bible in jail and request one on the tablet. The tablet has the default Bible as King James. These guys don't know what type of Bible they want. Most have never even opened the good book. Jackson Selly told me he didn't feel like he was smart enough to be a Christian, that he couldn't understand the Bible. Well, it was no wonder why he thought all Christians had to be brain surgeons. Anyone who's read King James knows how hard it can be to fully grasp. I ordered myself a New Living Translation, or NLT, and told everyone else who hadn't ordered a Bible yet to do the same. I couldn't wait for them to pass them out. I'm just wanting to continually add words today. I then gave my NLT Bible to Jackson's roommate and wrote in it, "If you don't know where to start reading, I suggest Matthew. And remember, a proverb a day keeps the devil away." I'm proud to say that the pod was flooded with NLT Bibles, and that Jackson Silly read the Bible I gave him for the whole 16 months that we were in the same pod. I was always available when he or anyone else had biblical questions. The fact that there were zero religious counsel or support to max security detainees was staggering. "Yo, Big 400! It was an overly nice heroin dealer and killer who made too many sexual innuendos to not be at least bisexual. Most everyone took to calling him Gay J. So, this guy Gay J, character. Like, serious character. He was okay. But he did make a lot of sexual suggestions. It's the nice way of putting it. "Hey," I shouted back through the vent. "Do you remember how the Monopoly board is set up?" I thought for a second. I can probably figure it out." "Cool. We're going to put one together to play during our timeout." "Sweet." I call the race car. "Make whatever you want for your game piece." In no time, we had a board layout and prices guesstimated to close approximations. The board was made with 2 pieces of paper, and we tore up paper into squares for the property cards and money. I set to creating my race car, using an eraser as the body. I took sharp lead pieces and pushed them into the eraser. 4 for the tires and 1 for the cool spike at the front of my car. I then drew epic racing stripes and windows on the eraser, finishing with a few flames drawn on the back. Gramps said my eraser looked like a pig. But no, it was clearly an awesome race car. Monopoly soon fed into us creating Risk and Backgammon. It was just fun to get away from the normal card games we'd been playing every day. It also gave us a fun art project to occupy our time. It's a shame inmates don't have access to any art or hobby supplies like they do in prison. Detainees would love to be creative. Unfortunately, my little piggy race car didn't survive long before a CO took him and threw him away. I was so mad. When I asked why he was being disposed of so unceremoniously, the CO replied, I wasn't using the eraser for its intended purpose. It's like if anything is mildly entertaining, the corrections staff felt the need to put a stop to it. They got joy from their power trips and adding to our suffering. My little piggy race car never hurt anyone. Hey, Big, sorry about your pig, said Leprechaun as he approached. It's whatever, I said, trying not to sound like it was affecting me. Mexican Grandpa grunted in his primitive language, waving his arms around from behind his door. Leprechaun translated. He feels your pain. They said he, too, had too much masturbation jelly, so they took half his supply along with half of his paper and envelopes. I responded, Why would masturbation jelly? Why would they take half of something we're given? Leprechaun and Mexican Grandpa grunted at each other before Leprechaun responded in the Lord's language, English. English! The Lord's language. I hope you guys realize that I'm joking when I say these things, right? Like, don't take them too seriously. Okay? Okay. Glad we agree on that. They said he had more than is allowed. That's not in the manual, I said. I swear, some of the COs just make up rules to ruin our day. Not much can do, replied Mexican Grandpa. Not much can do. Leprechaun spoke after a moment of silence. Hey, Trevor, might be a good one to test our shower designs. Turning to me, he went on, Tell us which shower head you like better. It was something to do, and I was kind of curious, so I agreed. The shower heads wouldn't fit under the door, so they got them to me the same way we passed anything that couldn't fit under our doors. First, they hid them in the shower right before they were locked back up. Then House Mouse snagged it. Then a house mouse snagged it while they were cleaning and held onto it until the meal right before it was my time out. When the house mouse would re-hide it in the shower. With the door closed, the COs never checked the showers. I returned to Leprechaun and Mexican Grandpa after another long, gratifying shower, feeling 3 pounds lighter. So, began Leprechaun, what do you think? What did you think? I faced him head on. I'd already thought about what I was going to say. How do you spell leprechaun? He thought for a moment before responding, Leprechaun. See, I'd expected you to know how to spell it because that's what you are. Fuck you. I am not short. I am not that short. You might as well be a midget. I'm 5'5", an excellent midget height. Fuck you. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It lets you use the shower heads that stick straight down 5 inches, while the same shower head forces vertically normal people like myself to bend at unnatural angles. After a second, he gave a laugh. Hadn't thought of that. I went and put the shower head back on the shower. Jackson came over to me and struck up a conversation. What was that about? Mexican Grandpa and Leprechaun needed someone to judge whose shower head was better. Why do you call him that? Because that's what you're supposed to call an Irish midget. Not him, Tata. Why do you call him Why do you call Tata Mexican Grandpa? Not him, comma, Tata, period. Why do you call Tata Mexican Grandpa? When was this prison built? The 70s? Savannah, this prison was built. This is so this story takes place in Thurston County Correctional Facility. So no, definitely not the 70s. This let me see. This prison would have been, I want to say 2010 is when they started bringing inmates in. Maybe a little later than that, maybe 2012. So no, this is Thurston County Correctional Facility. He stared at me like I was the stupidest person alive. It does. It's Filipino. You sure it's not Mexican? No, it's not Latino. Because he looks Mexican. No, he doesn't. He looks Filipino, not Latin. I said thoughtfully. His eyes look more Mexican. He could be a mix. I'll start calling him Filipino. That's a good mixed Filipino and Mexican name. No, Savannah, you're not understanding. The shower head is something that he made, right? So he built a shower head to take the water and get the stream of water together, right? Pooled together and sprayed out in a concentration. So because he's so short, he put a bunch of the deodorant packets, the plastic deodorant containers together, right? Sawing them and putting them together to form one. Well, when the person tried to use it, they had to bend down, right? Because the midget is the leprechaun, he's the one who made the shower head with himself in mind. So it's great for him, but for everybody else, it was like, oh, dude, this is like 5 inches, 5 inches past the normal water mark. His eyes look more Mexican. He could be a mix. I'll start calling him Filipino. How is that in any way Spanish? Because of the pepper. He looked at me with a raised eyebrow until I explained. Filipino, like jalapeno? You are welcome, Savannah. Savannah, Cookin, Summit, Silver, you guys are all awesome. I love y'all. What peppers are very Spanish? He walked away, shaking his head. The important thing is, I think I'm funny. In close custody, you entertain yourself. Clearly, he doesn't understand how closed Asian and Latin cultures are. How closely Asian and Latin cultures are related. Plus, Tata really did look Spanish. All short, brown, and wrinkly. It's not like he came with a label. Oh well, lesson learned. From then on, I referred to him by his proper name, Filipino. Throughout my time, I made a lot of arts and crafts contraband. Here's some of my favorites. Throughout my time detained, during my detained time, I made a lot of arts and craft contraband. Arts and crafts contraband. Arts and crafts contraband. Here are some of my favorites. Making a sink spigot. A water spigot can be a nice addition to your sink, transforming it into a drinking fountain, letting you spray the water in whatever direction you want, and increasing the water pressure. For this one, you're going to need one of the soft plastic gel pens for the actual insert. Not the actual insert, just the soft outer plastic and the cap. Saw through the closed end of the tube so you have a perfect hole in both ends for water to easily pass through. Now take the soft plastic cap and bite a small hole through the top of it. It's not big enough for you to saw through. Take the cap and jam the top of it into your sink spigot until it's far enough in to be a tight hold. Add the tube to the cap and the water should run smoothly through it. You can now bend that tube to get the water wherever you'd like. You can also bend it far enough to increase the water pressure to the desired level. Once you get the tube in the desired position, tie the tube to itself with your string to hold the bend in place. You can now comfortably drink from the sink or shoot the water across the room as you'd like. Making a toothbrush holder. Do-do-do. Because line your toothbrush on the rim of the sink or on the ground of the toiletry cubby every day is gross. Super gross, especially in jail. Don't do it. Take an empty deodorant container, put it upside down, and put your toothbrush handle on the little egg-shaped hole. The container is the perfect size for a little mini toothbrush. Organizational dividers. Some of the cookies bought off commissary come in plastic trays that make for perfect dividers. For us, the cookies were duplex. I traded for these plastic trays and used them to organize and hold everything. Pencils, erasers, dominoes, chess pieces, juice packets, condiments, and medicine, all nicely organized on my desk and in my cubby. Note, I found if CEOs saw that things were organized, they were less likely to mess with them. That was a big thing. They were less likely to mess with them. I saw that if things were organized... I found if CEOs saw that things were organized, they were less likely to mess with them. There we go. Alternative dividers. Some people also took the logo stickers off their stuff and used them to tape old playing cards into bigger and taller dividers. I've also seen this done with envelopes. Or, if someone is good at origami, they can use normal paper to make different sizes of paper boxes. I, however, never got skilled at origami. I, however, never became a black belt in origami. See, now that's funny, right? Black belt in origami. Black belt in origami. Yeah, I think so. Making a jail cup. If you're like me, you find the orange plastic cup they give inmates annoyingly small. Here's how you make a bigger one. Take 2 chip bags and place one inside the other. Make sure they're both nice and cleaned out. Afterwards, shape the bags into the circular cup shape. Take the logo stickers and start taping them around the bag for support. Make sure you tape the rim of the bags each back next. Tape the rim of the bags back next. Followed by the bottom of the bags. Followed by the bottom of the bag. Bags back. Taking the logo stickers and start taping them around the bag for support. Make sure you tape the rim of the bags back next. The rim of the bag back next. Tape the rim of the bag back next. Followed by the bottom of the bag. Smoothing as you go to ensure a nice flat surface. You should now have a nice large cup to drink from that you won't need to refill every 4 damn swallows. Is 4 a good number? Yeah, let's change it to 3. Making dice. In Maxim, where I was, we weren't allowed to have dice. We had dominoes, but no dice. I'm guessing they were worried we might swallow them. There are 2 good ways for making dice while in Max, and one of them is pretty simple. The universal number 2 pencils they give out are 6-sided, so just break one in half. Add. So just break one in half and add the numbers 1 through 6 on each side with another pencil. Now you're ready to start rolling. Alternative dice. The other option will leave you with size. The other option will leave you with dice that look a little more traditional. Take 2 pieces of soap and stick them together with some toothpaste. Wait several hours for the paste to harden. Now, take a pencil and carve the soap away from the edges until you're left with a good sized square. Once you're satisfied with the shape, cover the entire square in a decent coat of toothpaste, molding it into a semi-smooth surface on every side. Again, let the dice sit for several hours to get the paste hard. Now it's time to carve away any excess paste, put the number dots on each side of the dice. You're now ready to play 10,000, 456, or even Dungeons and Dragons. There we go, people. Earplugs. This one is big, guys. Earplugs are a must if you want to stay sane, because it's so freaking loud with everyone screaming and crying in there. The soft rubber from your sandals makes for excellent earplugs. Just work a pencil around in a circle across the bottom of the sandal until the rubber cylinder falls out. Now put it in your ear. Detainees are called offenders most of the time, and then the PC term is incarcerated individuals. So for accuracy, you might want to change that. So here's the reason, Savannah, that I'm using the word detainee. Because these people are in county, which means a lot of them are awaiting trial. Which means that these people have not necessarily offended. A lot of these people haven't been proven guilty. They haven't taken a plea deal. They're awaiting trial. So they're not necessarily offenders. A lot of them could be innocent men. So that is why I'm using the term detainees, because they are being detained. They also do not have all of their rights stripped from them. These people can still vote, right? If they're not already felons. And so that's why I'm using detainee, as opposed to like offender or something that implies that they are guilty or that they have been, charged with, or that they've been found guilty of a crime. Or that they're doing time, right? Most of these guys aren't doing time. They haven't been sentenced to time. They are awaiting trial. Alternative earplugs. The other option is to simply squish an eraser into your ears. I think it's funny how simple that is. Other item uses. Chip bags. Chip bags are the lifeblood of saving, storing, and trading food. Wash them out after every use and let them dry overnight. Keep them clean. No one likes receiving a moldy chip bag. Pencil door cushion. Graphite pencils are terrible, but the normal ones work great to jam into your cell door to keep them from clanging when the COs check its lock by pulling on the handle every hour. Toothpaste air freshener. Every cell has 2 air vents, one to send and one to receive. Feel which one is blowing into your cell and put toothpaste around the edges to make your house smell minty fresh. Life changer right there, being able to actually have your cell smell good. Especially when you get 2 guys into a room that's no bigger than 16 feet by 12 feet. It is awful. You're gonna smell each other, and it's deodorant and mint over the vent is a must. Deodorant temperature control. You can use that same vent to regulate the temperature of your cell. Take a deodorant stick and rub it over the vent, filling up the little holes with the deodorant jelly. You'll be amazed at how much warmer the small space gets without the cool air flowing. If you find you need more airflow, you can always open the holes back up with a pencil or pen insert. Be warned, the free jail deodorants will make your cell smell like pencil shavings for a little bit. Simple pencil cushion. Tear the top off 2 or 3 erasers and slide them over your pencils to cushion it against your fingers. Tear the top off 2 or 3 erasers and slide them over your pencils to cushion over your pencil to cushion it against your fingers. There we go. Salt and pepper shakers. Clean out a shampoo bottle and puncture a few holes in the lid. Fill, shake, and enjoy. Silver. Hey, if you know any doomsday preppers who need to know this stuff, just send them my way. I can give them all the info. That's funny. Doomsday preppers. You know, when you have a lot of time on your hands, you don't have social media, you don't have movies, you don't have anything to do except read. You get bored, you get creative, and you start making stuff. You start making shit, and that's exactly what happened here. You know, you just salt and pepper shakers. Who would have ever thought of using, using little shampoo bottles as salt and pepper shakers? Liquid soap. Clean out a shampoo bottle, mix with water and flakes of your hand soap. I found it useful for cleaning out my chip bags, especially the jalapeno chips that you really don't want flavoring left behind. So many doomsday preppers. Well, good. I'm so glad. They need to know this stuff. Share it. Share the stream. Why on earth do you need to wake up at 8 a.m. on Thursday and 11 p.m. on Sunday, again ruining our sleep schedule? Yes. Okay, this is a big one. You only get to do laundry twice a week, and you have to wake up. I know that this doesn't sound early or late for you people in the normal world, but when you're doing razors at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're doing breakfast at 5, and you're doing lunch at noon, and it's just not the way to go about doing laundry. The times are just super inconvenient. It does not allow itself for much sleep. Again, ruining our sleep schedule. Just do the laundry yourself and sleep in. There we go. Using the sink with some of your new liquid soap. Using the sink with some of your new liquid soap. Leave your clothes soaking before letting them dry. Leave your clothes soaking before letting them dry, and you're good to go. Alternatively, I also took a shower with my clothes on from time to time for easy do-it-yourself laundry. The soap cleans your skin. It might as well clean your clothes. Here's the reason why. Here's the other reason why you don't necessarily do laundry. Doing laundry is trusting other inmates, trusting other detainees, trusting other people to do things. And you never know when something is going to go wrong and they're going to lose your stuff. Positive vibes. Thanks, Lisa King. I appreciate that. And so because of that, you gotta set yourself up for success. Keep your clothes and everything with you, where you're gonna be, where you're gonna go. Putting stuff in the actual laundry, you're just asking for things to get lost. It's a nice little extra little bit of message to put in there at the end. Okay, be your own chef. So I have this all nice and written out right here, and I'm going to start typing it out. However, I don't know that I'm going to read it out loud. I think I'm just going to focus on typing real quick like. Let's put this. Where are you going now? There you go. There you go. This way I can read the words real nice and easy like. Okay. Hope everybody likes reading while I type. Mm. Look at that. Already doing it wrong. Taste buds will. Okay, here is where we are going to insert the menu. So this entire chapter is on being your own chef. How are you going to make yourself how are you going to make the food enjoyable, or if not enjoyable, at least decent? Where you might not be hungry anymore. Rule of thumb. Uncooked on the inside. Do. Inside and stale on the outside. So if they were removed from the oven too soon and they left. Oh. It's true. The pudding is always chunky. Hmm. Rubber cheese, rubber cheese. Um, Boiled eggs, rubber cheese, fish patties, beans, and plain white rice. Kosher. So right now I'm just honestly going as fast as I can typing, getting the chapter out there, transferred onto the computer. I'm really not too worried about sentence structure or grammatical things at the moment. I'm gonna fix all those once it's on the computer. So that's all I'm really doing right now is transferring from the written to the computer. Um, what's the ship's bags? taken off my watch. Much better. okay. Sounds like Eeyore, right? Oh, okay. Okay. AIDS is also capitalized like HIV. Is it? So it should be AIDS like that. Good note. I'm not really doing editing right now. I'm just getting it all out there, but that is a good note. Thank you, SBS, whoever you are. Oh, stretch. Where'd my water go? There it is. Actually, I'm going to drink a little bit of my root beer. Okay. Where were we? Everyone knows. Capital S. Savannah. SBS is Savannah too? I thought Savannah Brown 8888. There are all kinds of Savannahs in here. That's crazy. Just changed my account. Well, welcome on the new account. Make sure that your new account likes and subscribes as well. Yeah, that's the best. Getting 2 subs out of 1 person. It's like the best thing ever. Everyone knows. Tom said with a laugh. Why do you think, everyone? Excuse me. How could I be positive as I was HIV positive? How could he? It's a good question. How could he be positive that he was HIV positive? Yes, but see, when you're in jail, Savannah, you don't necessarily have blood tests or, and as we just saw, right, medical reports cost money, and we don't necessarily want to spend a bunch of money on some medical reports. Yes, you do. So you do have access to medical, right? Okay, Savannah, this isn't a prison, right? This is jail. And Thurston County Jail has a huge problem with medical because they don't accept insurance. They do not take insurance. You have to pay for everything out of pocket. Anything, any medical that they do for you. If they do a blood test, if they send anything to labs, even a doctor's visit. Now, the doctor's visit isn't bad because the doctor visit is only $10. Um, but they don't accept insurance. People who are diabetic, they have to pay for all their own insulin while they're in jail. It's not till you get to prison that medical will be covered. Yes, lab tests are very expensive, and yeah, so there are a lot of medical things that just, I mean, there's a reason that jail isn't designed for long-term stay, right? Which is another reason why the pandemic was so terrible because you had people staying in facilities that are not designed or set up for extended stays. Prison is designed for extended stay. Jails are just supposed to house people until they either take a plea deal or, they either go home or they move on to prison. Um, Always going home disappointed and hungry. It's a good break right there. And now we're moving along to tap, tap, tap. Stretch. Note, any inmate feels safe talking. Hmm. Yep, that's a big thing, guys. Remember, if you use the word allegedly, it makes it all okay. You can say whatever you want, because that's definitely how that works. Well, hello, Hungry for Life. We are talking about food, so your name is a good one to have. Peanuddles. Maybe a few Butterfingers thrown in. Peanuddles are something. Again, I'm just going fast. I'm not really too worried about. I'll fix. I'll fix all this stuff in editing later. have a 10 item cap. A newly delivered Kit Kat. Wahahaha. Okay. Stretch. And that is a scene. And scene. Okay. To the left, to the left, to the right, now hop it back and forth. Hop it back and forth. I have a lot of work to do. 137. Okay. 137. Woohoo! Go team! Another scene done. Alright, folks, I got some emails and stuff that author Altman just has to get done, so I'm going to leave you all. Have a fabulous rest of your day. As always, stay healthy, stay happy, and whatever you write, have fun while you write it.